and they're called. What up? What up? What up? What's happening? Coming at you alive from the west side. You understand me? Steve-O 165. What's happening, Steve-O? Where you at? 165. What's that? 165. What's that? You talking the Bronx? I say 165. I think about the Bronx. I think about Grand Concourse, Walton Avenue, Sheridan, Sherman, Bobby Oceano. What's up, Bobby? What's goody? I'm out here in the West, man. Came out here to do some things. Shot a dope ass interview y'all gonna get real soon called what up, Trey? I remember when we was on here last with the podcast that I did the interview for is called The Connect by Johnny Mitchell, Johnny Mitchell. Dope joint, The Connect on YouTube. Check that out. And my interview will be up in about a week. And Trey, the last time we was on here, what up here, Pablo? What up, Ty? You ready? The last time we was on here, Trey had asked, why do I think people don't pay attention or aren't paying attention to the whole median household income dropping to zero for black families by 2053. And that was that was, I didn't get on Tuesday because I was actually in the middle of being interviewed at 7 o'clock. You know, guys are 3 hours ahead. So I was on camera when it was time to do it on Tuesday. But I remember from that previous time that we was on, Trey asked that question. And I've been thinking about that a lot. Mini Bob 30, what's popping? Where you at, Ty? I was thinking about that a lot. Like, why do they not seem to be paying attention? And what would paying attention to such information, what would that look like? You know, how would that be responsibly? Like, how does that look? You know, what does them responding to that or paying attention to that look like? Maybe they are paying attention to it. I don't know. I just tried to add you, Ty. I just tried to add life of Ty Mills. I tried to add you. Oh, there you go. Yo, what up, man?
What's happening?
Shit, it's moving. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood up here in lovely Glendale. This ain't LA. This is Glendale.
Yeah, LA was on fire yesterday at that Kendrick event.
Yeah. I was with G Rock. He was over at the bro. These are Detroit homies. He's at the bro Jack Rip shop. He's a designer. Got clothes. Got this new clothing line. New dope clothing line that's gonna be real big. That's what I was trying to show Tip yesterday when we were on the phone. He called me on the phone. I was trying to show him this clothing line that my man just brought out. That's crazy. But you're gonna be hearing about it because there's gonna be a bunch of motherfuckers wearing it to the upcoming award shows. But they were going to shoot out there to that Kendrick joint. Yeah, I ain't interested.
You'd
I'm
have
not
fun.
interested. I ain't interested. You know, it's not that ain't for me. You know, but I saw some clips from it last night on IG. It looked like he made a splash.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was dope. Hold on a second. This one, somebody I want to bring on. Let's join. Let's see. Search. TREEESK.
They not like us. They not like us.
What is his fucking joint? What is
Peace.
this joint? What is this joint?
Make
Um,
it true.
hey, I gotta go and find out what our guest IG is real quick so you can come on.
Okay.
Give me a sec.
Okay. They not like us. Nah, that Kendrick concert was crazy. What's weird about the whole Kendrick concert is all the Drake people coming back out like, man, he did a whole concert to diss him. It's like, society is weird. So you gotta fuck with who you fuck with, man. I ran into somebody last night that watched the show. This shit funny as hell. This nigga froze with his mouth open. It's all bad. They not like us. You think the baby won't let you get your pot, nigga? He be acting like an old nigga sometime, Trey. And then he come back and he be like, alright, he act cool again.
I
Then he
heard
be like, nah.
that, you son of a bitch.
That nigga would have been in there gang banging and shit. That nigga was lying like a motherfucker.
All right, I got him. I'm about to pull him in right now. I'm inviting him right now. Um, my background ain't too loud, right? You can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. You good.
Okay.
It don't sound like overshadowing or nothing.
Okay.
Nah,
I just
we
hit him.
hit.
I just sent him the invite just now. So yeah, man. The this interview that I got coming up that's about to come out with the homie Johnny Mitchell. His joint is called The Connect on YouTube. He got over 1 million subscribers. He only been doing it. He started September 17th of 2022. Got over 1 million subscribers. So
Man,
it's not September 2024. Dude ain't been doing it for 2 whole years yet, bro.
yeah, man. These people do not be it don't be taking them long to build these communities. It just be consistency in doing these things. That's what I realized that.
But
Like
it's
Casanat, he up like 200, $350 million and he started streaming like 4 years ago. So to
yeah
be
that
up 350 million and to be the leading person after 4 years in any field, boy, you're doing it.
yeah that's some shit. That's some shit. You know what's really crazy is that you have other motherfuckers who've been doing it for 15 years and might not have they might have over 800 videos up. Dude got or just over 800 videos up. Dude got um dude got 783 videos up in less than 2 years. You got motherfuckers who been got they started a YouTube channel, you know, 15 years ago, and they got 800 something videos up, and half as many um subscribers as dude had. You know what I mean? Like that math don't math. Don't make sense. You've been doing this shit for 15 years. You got 800 joints up. Nigga been doing it for like 18 months. He got damn near 800 joints up, and he got twice as many subscribers. Some it's got to be more than consistency because in that scenario, one is no more consistent than the other. So it's got to be more than consistency. There's got to be about there's got to be some quality aspect to it, you know?
Uh,
The shit that
sometimes,
Johnny does.
like Casa Not, his shit went viral because a roach was in the background and he was living in an apartment in the Bronx.
Oh, I heard about that. You must have told me about that. You
So
must
it's
have told me
like
about that. I remember that.
it really,
So, like, go ahead.
it's really whatever this algorithm picks up and decides to push forward that happens on your thing that people just actually see it as opposed to not. Because sometimes you find a person, they got great content, they just don't got no views.
Yeah, I mean, why would a roach, why would having a roach in your background, why would that mean anything? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why would that fucking matter? What's going on, Mini Bob? I'm good, man. Murder Man 083, what's happening? The Rob Report, what's going on the Rob Report? What's happening, cuzzo? That that's your second cousin right there. My first cousin, your second cousin right there. Stark Nigga Crew.
Oh man,
What's happening?
I was
What's
just with
happening?
Ballhead the other day.
Oh, word. What's up with him? What up, Kevin? Kevin P32
What
was
up,
popping.
though?
Simp set 370. There go T Ski. There go T Ski. Where you at, T Ski? Let me bring you on, T Ski. Yeah. G Rizzy. Me and G Rizzy was rocking yesterday. Craig Hard Jr. What's happening? There you go. There you
Who are
go.
you talking to?
There go T Ski. There go T Ski. What up, Trav?
What up? What's
Now,
going on?
Man, I was like, who is this white guy? He looked mad familiar, yo. I thought you
That's
brought your lawyer on here.
the fucking FBI, bitch.
yeah. So,
You about to get swatted.
so for y'all that
Who,
don't know, who
who are these
haven't
people
read
you're
really
talking
about
about?
word, we're just talking about this YouTube thing and the almost random, arbitrary, success and not so much success that people have on it. The guy who I just got interviewed the other day here, his name is Johnny Mitchell. He has a podcast called The Connect, and he just started September 7th of 2022, September 17th, I think, of 2022. So it hasn't even been 2 years. Dude's got uh, over 1 million subscribers. In comparison to um, someone else who might have been on since 2006, and is, maybe 20 more videos than dude has up. 800 something videos. Dude got like 780 something videos. And that person who's been on since 2006 only has 575,
It's
something
because
like that.
his fucking cat doesn't know how to play the piano, dude.
Because his cat doesn't know how to play the piano. Like,
Isn't that
as
what?
bizarre as that fucking sounds, that's right in line with what's up, King Great 357. That's right in line. What up, Zoe and Solo? That's right in line with what Cole was saying. Boogie BMF, what Mo was saying about this one dude who, how much he up? You were saying, Mo?
350 million?
350 million viewers, subscribers?
No, he $350 million. He just broke the record the other day with streaming with Kevin Hart and Drewski. They did a whole sleepover thing, and he just constantly breaking the record, constantly breaking
And
records.
what broke him on the platform
Uh,
was he did a live and there was a roach crawling around his background. He was in some apartment in the Bronx, right?
yeah,
See what I'm saying? Like that's equivalent to this cat can't play fucking piano. Like if motherfucker had a cat that could play the piano, 9 times they going through the roof. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah,
it,
yeah.
it's just crazy, bro. It's a really crazy thing. And I don't really fuck with YouTube like that. Like I fucked with it some years ago. I got a channel, like whatever. But YouTube plays a lot of fucking games. They play a lot of games, and they will arbitrarily change a fucking rule with no accountability, and that's that. And them changing that rule, if you were making some money, them changing that one little rule could mean that you're no longer making any money. I remember once they changed it to any video that has a curse or a profanity in the first 3 minutes of it is now demonetized. So you could have had a video that's been making you money for years, and all of a sudden that video's not making you money no more because they just said, oh yeah, if we got a curse in the beginning of it, then you can't make no money from it. You know, that type of bullshit. You know, but what I do notice is that dumb shit, bullshit, ignorant shit, jackass backwards shit gets the most views. Now, what does that say about our society?
People
You know,
watch nothing.
because most people are fucking stupid. Because most people are stupid, and if you really want to win, you have to appeal to stupidity. Like, if you really want to win monetarily for however long you can, and it's generally short lived, but you can make a good amount of money in a very short period of time. Just doing the dumbest shit you can possibly fucking think of. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
Which,
know dudes that they'd be like, "Oh, I need to start a business," and blah blah blah. I'm like, what you need to do is get stabbed in front of a Popeye and say something, memorable. You know,
Trev hasn't taken his meds today, y'all. So,
no, but I mean, like, then once you get like stabbed in front of like by a McDonald's checkout girl, like then you could do you could do everything. You have your own line of whatever cars,
no
da, 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 da.
bullshit.
You know
No
what I mean?
bullshit.
Because it's like, oh,
No
that's that
bullshit.
dude.
No bullshit.
That's that dude
But
that
it's
got beat up by a
right,
bunch of sixth graders on
right,
the fucking bus.
right. Like it didn't do Cat Williams's career any actual damage when a big 12-year-old put him in the Dauphine yoke and held him out.
Yeah, yeah.
Grown ass man.
I'm
But
trying to do that. I'm just scared of little girls. That's you know what I
yeah,
mean?
because they can be
Yeah,
rough.
they
They can
are
be fucking
rough.
rough. They can be
They are
ruthless.
rough.
Yeah, they can be ruthless.
You see three, elementary school girls walking together across the street. They're gonna fucking stab you.
I mean that's he's in New York, y'all.
Yeah, so
If you
that's
can't
different.
if you can't tell,
And
he's
in
in New York. Yeah,
They carry
yeah.
Yeah,
swords and samurai daughters and shit.
yeah. Yo, my sculpture got
So
chipped, bro. I just realized that.
what sculpture is that? Is that a black Charlie Brown? I can barely
The
tell.
world is yours.
Black Charlie Brown.
Oh, that old joint.
Yeah, shit got chipped.
Oh man. So when we were kids, so all right, let me tell y'all who Trevor is, man. Hey Trev, turn your phone the other way.
What
You're
happened?
sideways. You're sideways.
I
There
thought
you go. There you go. So Trev and I grew up together. If you read Raised by Wolves, then you read about uh my shooting gallery. I called it the after school program. So Trev and I, we went to a school. It's a very special school full of very special people called Music and Art. And it used to be in Harlem on 135th Street in St. Nicholas Terrace. And they used to call it the Castle on the Hill because it looked like an old castle. And so back then, ninth, 10th grade, before they moved us to the new building down behind Lincoln Center, we was run around there, wilding out, whatever. And of course I was already in the thing. I was already doing my business, whatever. So, I saw fit to corrupt this young man who was already wild and crazy his own motherfucker self. But I saw fit to introduce him to the drug world and, bring him to the drug world. This is and after we built a connected. We met one day in the hallway. We were talking.
Well, we
We
bonded
started talking
over
about.
cocaine in the first place.
Oh, we did.
Yeah, as users. Yeah. Cocaine
You know,
and motorcycles
yeah,
was
I knew
our.
motorcycles. I knew motorcycles was in there. I didn't. But it makes sense though. It makes sense
Yeah,
because obviously we were
yeah.
sniffing. I was selling coke. And we were
I
sniffing.
was
You know what I mean? But we
I
in
was
school,
I was sniffing since I was 11. Yeah.
and I was sniffing since I was damn near 11, 10 years
Yeah.
old, right? So
Cross
and it was a different thing
lanes.
back then. It was a different thing back then. You know what I mean? That Trev also, from time to time, Trev back then, well, really before my time, so earlier than he was sniffing, Trev used to get wet.
Oh yeah.
You know, he like to get wet. You know, he like to get wet.
He
Trev
got
used to
butt
get wet.
naked.
Easy as butt naked. Jersey butt naked. Well, y'all don't know, Trev used to smoke that dust. Little motherfucker too. Little motherfucker smoking that shit. So, uh, me and Trev got immediately connected, man. Like it was an instant connection. So he invited me to his family's house up in the mountains of Charlemont, in Massachusetts, and had dirt bikes up there and all that, whatever. And we used to go skiing and shit like that. So I'd go up there on the weekends and we go riding dirt bikes and going skiing at different ski resorts and shit like that. For a kid from the hood and Harlem and South Bronx and all that, it was a big fucking deal. You know what I'm saying? Like I was doing some shit that people who are from where I'm from, especially at that time, only saw on TV. You know what I mean? And really only saw on a commercial. But they wasn't watching nothing when motherfuckers was riding dirt bikes and skiing and shit like that. They wasn't watching nothing like that. That was not something they would see on something that they would tune into, but
Well, there's
commercials
dirt
showed
biking
people
in
doing shit
Central
like
Park.
that. I mean, I'm talking about it was rare
Yeah,
back then, like the whole riding the dirt bikes in the street thing back then, it was strictly a Harlem thing back then.
right.
And there were few people who were doing it. Very, very few. It'd be 2, 3 guys riding around in 1980, 81 on a dirt bike in the street. And that was in Harlem. It wasn't happening nowhere else. Nowhere else. You
Yeah.
know? And so that's why, and because that's the only way I really knew about it, although they had trails and places for us to ride in the woods, um, I would like to go and zip up and down the streets. And the neighbors would call his parents and be like, is the little boy out there riding up and down the street? Is he with you guys? And then one time, I'm a kid from the hood. I don't know nothing from nothing. I go through this tall ass grass or whatever the fuck this shit was in my mind at that time. Whatever this tall shit is, I want to ride through this field. So I go buzzing through the field. I'm on a KDX 175, Kawasaki KDX 175. Big motherfucking bike. I'm flying through that shit, flipping. I get back to the house. Trevor's mom, God bless her. She says, Laurie, were you just riding through someone's cornfield? I said, I don't know. What's a cornfield? I went and tore up somebody's fucking crops, bro. I had no fucking idea. I had no idea what I was doing. None whatsoever.
Like
But
10W40, this corn tastes like.
the what?
It's motor
The what?
oil.
Oh,
That's motor oil.
I mean, I know what motor oil is. Who said that? I can't tell who's talking.
What happened?
Who said that?
What?
Who said
He did.
W40? Oh, he
He
did.
did.
Okay. I couldn't tell what you were.
Yeah.
But, you know, his parents were so tolerant of me, even though I was, for the most part, I was very inappropriate, for the circumstances. Like, I just didn't know no better. Like, I was a kid from the hood. I did not know any better. And I wasn't one of the, dirty little grimy kids from the hood. You know what I'm saying? Obviously. I was a kid who had shit, whatever, but I was still from the hood. So my exposure was super duper limited, mad limited. So I just didn't know. There was a lot of shit I did not know better than, like to ride through somebody's cornfield. I did not know better than to do that, shooting up and down the block, shooting up and down the road. Not a block. I mean, in the fucking mountains. But, shooting up and down the road, just flying back and forth like you would do in the hood. Like, although we had all these woods and all these mountains and shit to ride in, I wanted to ride on asphalt. I wanted to go, up and down the street as though I was on 8th Avenue or 7th Avenue or some shit like that. You know what I mean? So, as time goes on, it happened, shit happened so quickly. Like when me and Trev connected, I had just really started doing my thing. And so,
You actually had not started yet, because I remember how we started. I
how?
remember this. I
No,
remember.
no, no, no. I started
Oh, no,
before we met. I started before we
no,
met.
no, but
I started with
at
with
the
with,
time,
with
I
Edgar.
remember at the time maybe you weren't like, but like, because I remember how it started, like, because we were talking about, because we were getting high together anyway, right?
Well, what? The only way I would have coke is if I was selling it.
No, but you would get it from your uncle and shit like that, like, you know what I mean, like, and I would get coke from wherever the fuck. But I remember when we started, like because I was DJing at that time and I was getting a little bit nice, but I did not like I wanted to like now get out in the world and like do part or like whatever whatever you do, get gigs or get parties or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So we were fucking with my turntables, and then I was like, "Yo, let's be partners. Like, let's try to, like get it." And then you were like, "Oh, okay, cool. So I'm gonna go to my uncle, and then I'm gonna get X, Y, and Z, and then we're gonna see what we could do." And I was
Right.
like, and I remember I was like, "That's not what I'm talking about," but okay.
Oh,
You don't remember that? I was like, because you were like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get some fucking work," and da 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 da. And I was like, "That's not what I meant," but yeah, that too.
oh
You know.
shit! I didn't even.
That's fucking
I
hilarious.
just,
And then that
I
weekend, and then that weekend, we went to Roxy's, and like like little kids trying to sell coke in a fucking discotheque.
so so when I started when we met I was 14, right? When we met I was 14.
I think so.
I started in 1980. I didn't start music in art high school till 1981. I started with Edgar, but Edgar's mom was the first person to give me cocaine, and she was getting it from her boyfriend, a Colombian dude. So I was already doing it. I was already selling it. That's why that was my first inclination. When you said what you said, that's why my first. Oh, yeah, because Edgar was my first partner. He was the first person I sold drugs with, and he just wasn't. You know, he was more so a drug addict. You know what I mean? Like he just really wasn't about the business.
Yeah.
So when when I met you, I was already fucking around. But when you and I got together, and I was able to, cause I was by myself, and I was able to, and I was really, really looking for a partner. Like I was looking to do the things that Steve and them were doing, and Charlie and them were doing. Like, I wanted a crew.
Yeah, yeah.
They had a crew. I
That's what
wanted a
I mean. Like
crew.
I wasn't implying that you had never fucked around. I just been like
Mm.
at the time, that wasn't, like you was between work or whatever the fuck it was. But and then
Mm.
that's when we started. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I do remember the going to Roxy's and being in there and doing the thing in Roxy's and all of that.
Yeah.
That was the
We had so many fucking antics, bro. Like
oh my god, bro. So
selling coke to my mom's friends and shit.
oh
Like
I totally forgot
remember
about that.
we did some. Remember we did some James Bond shit in Port Authority and shit like that. Remember?
Oh no, tell that story. Tell that story.
I don't
Tell that story.
really remember it. I just remember us like. I remember us just being like mad extra about it. Like people got drugs like like all over the place, and we were like, I'll meet you on the second floor, and then like wear a feather in your hat, type shit.
I mean, you got to realize, like, I came from a situation where I was made to be aware of like the absolute detriments. So
Yeah,
that's one of the reasons that I survived because I had the cautions embedded in me from inception. So
yeah,
I wasn't wandering around willy nilly, just thinking it's all good. I was
yeah,
made to understand that if you fuck up, you be fucked up. You know what I mean? Like if it go bad, it go real bad. So you had to be on point at all fucking times. More important than the money is your safety. You know, and so that was really my mindset. I was conditioned to take the extra step and
yeah.
do the extra thing, to make sure that I succeeded. And that just increased as I got older, which is why most of my peers and contemporaries during my career used to be like, oh, he paranoid. Oh, he
Yeah.
paranoid. Yeah, yeah, I'm paranoid. Why? Because I know that there's motherfuckers out here that want to arrest me and
I
want
would
to
I
put me in
wouldn't
jail.
be I wouldn't be so paranoid if everybody wasn't out to get me.
Right, exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what the mindset was. So, do you remember how we ended up, um, how you ended up working with me at the shooting gallery, the after school program at the spot on the block, on my old block of 15th Street?
I mean, I would from T, so like so I don't know how. I don't know like who put T on, but like T, like we got down with T basically.
Right. T. What happened was T worked for my family. So
Right.
T and his wife, sweet lady, real airhead. They lived in my grandmother's old apartment where I grew up and my mother grew up. So when we left, of course, we kept the apartment, and that apartment was used to for work and all that, whatever. I used to take girls there all the time, whatever. Everybody in my family took girls there. It was the spot. You know what I mean? And so T was living in that apartment with his wife and working for my family at the shooting gallery slash base spot, right?
It
And
wasn't a
T
base
was like a base
spot yet.
master.
It
No,
wasn't a base spot yet.
T was the base master. So
No, it
T,
was. But
yeah,
remember, so
T,
it was the base spot
no, no,
on
no,
the upstairs later.
mm,
No,
So Cuba, no. T had pipes and torches in there when we got there.
no, I know, but I don't. Did we?
Yes,
But
yes.
I
T,
mean, it was a shooting gallery
right.
in the on the other side.
No,
So
no.
like across the
People
street.
came. No, not across the street. Cuba was upstairs above us.
Oh yeah.
But, but T had his clientele. They were all white guys from Connecticut, and they bought the dope or whatever. They buy their dope. They shoot right there. You know, get high and be in there bugging out with us, whatever. We little kids and shit. These motherfuckers just sitting there shooting dope and all types of shit, buying dope from him. But he
Yeah.
also had the pipes and the torches in there, and he would charge people $1 for the pipe, $1 for the torch. So um, he taught he taught us how to clean out the pipes and torches. How to remember when we used to clean the pipes and torches out and pour the residue out onto a mirror, and
Yeah.
then with alcohol,
It's
and
great.
then we would scrape it up, like burn it out, burn alcohol off, scrape up the res, and then take that res, because it was like off white, beige, right? And we would scrape that res up, and then I would use it as cut on the actual powder coke that we sold in school. Remember the big thing about beige cocaine during that time, bro? Your phone is sideways again.
What
See,
happened? Yeah, because I had
your
to
phone is
charge
sideways
it.
again.
I had to charge
Oh,
it.
oh, I get it. Now it's
Yes.
upside down. Now you're hanging from the ceiling.
Am I upside down?
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool, bro. Upside
Yeah,
down.
you're upside down. Upside down. No, that's not cool, Trev.
That's not
That's
cool.
not. That's not. No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
So I'm a vampire bat.
So
I
we would
remember
remember how
that was
crazy people would go
a
about
big thing.
beige cocaine.
I was remember it was a big thing because everyone's like, "Why your coke is beige?"
That beige got that beige coat. That's in beige. And it's like, yeah, cause it's cut with fucking super cooked out fucking base,
Yeah.
essentially. Which
And then
I don't really.
if you got it from slime, it was cut with aspirin.
Did he do that?
Yeah.
So Slime is a guy who went to school with us. Slime, his name is Stanley
Like I think
Robinson.
one kid came to me like what I don't know if it was aspirin, but like somebody came to me like his nose was all burnt up, like he had a big ass like pimple on his nose from like I don't know what would do that. Fucking age
Uh,
some shit.
maybe, but like it never occurred to me that Slime
Yeah.
would do something like that. Although I gave him the name Slime. You remember why I gave him that name Slime?
I mean, I just thought it was because he's a fucking dirtbag.
Yeah. But how did I know? How did I know he was a dirtbag? How did I come to that conclusion? So
Oh, because of
this is
his
this is
mom. What he
yes,
did when his mom.
yes.
I thought he
So
was
check
named
this out.
Slime before that, but
Mm-mm, mm-mm. That's when I named him Slime. So we're at the new school down in Lincoln, down behind Lincoln Center, next to next to King. That's King High School,
yeah.
which is the great contrast between the kind of people at King and the kind of people that went to music and art. Great
Well,
fucking contrast. Somebody,
they would have our schools get out at different times. Remember
yeah,
that?
just to keep King from
From eating,
ransacking
from
the
eating the kids.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
the eating the other kids, right?
Yeah.
and sometime I would get pissed.
But when I went to school right next to King in junior high school, and yo, that was crazy shit, dude. Like that train station, they used to knock out all the lights in the back of the train station
Hmm.
and basically like have a disco back there. Like so after school they would knock out all the lights and just like the bat like whatever distance like two cars was, and then like you would smoke back there and dance and like don't not be from King and be back there, right? So uh and then but then like I'm because I used to write graffiti and they knew like a kid that I wrote with, and so I guess they introduced me to some kids, and they said to me, they said, oh, don't go back there or we're gonna make you smoke dust. So so then I came back there
Little did they know.
and I was like, hey, what's up? And they're like, oh shit. And I was like, so like let's smoke this.
Where, where's the dust,
Yeah,
motherfuckers? I know
they're
who y'all
like,
thought y'all were talking to.
oh my
I know who
god,
y'all thought y'all were talking
yeah, we thought we were threatening this kid, but he's gonna.
to. So
But like,
how
oh,
slime?
but so they would knock out all the fucking lights and then like just blast music, and it was basically like a giant party on the fucking subway platform. It was crazy. Like you, like that happened all the time. But if you tell to somebody now, that it's like it's like you might as well be talking about Lord of the Rings. Like, there's no way that happened. You know what I mean? Like, no way. Like, you know what I mean? Like shit that we would just see all the time, people would say like just didn't happen. Like, there's
Right,
no way. Like
right. I
you're a
would
liar.
imagine, especially especially for you now. You know what I mean? You now. What up, Ed? What's going on? So I'm gonna tell this story about how Stan became slime, and then I want to talk about how people act towards you now when they see you and they see this middle-aged white guy,
Yeah.
and they just can't imagine who the fuck you actually have been in your goddamn life. It always tickled me that people just looked at you and said, "Oh, I know who this guy is." And if you shared anything about what you've been through, they'd be like, "Nah, nah, you couldn't have done that. You couldn't have been a part of that. You couldn't have been part of no fucking drug operation in the middle of fucking Harlem, heroin operation in the middle of Harlem, in the 1980s. That couldn't have happened. That couldn't be real. Yeah, real, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Real. Real. You couldn't have been in the South Bronx wearing fucking Kango and Kazals because motherfuckers was getting their heads knocked off for that. And they were from the Bronx.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and pictures to prove it. Yeah, he was there doing that. Yeah. So, Slime, we in the new building. We go to school one morning, and Slime's mother comes in the school, right? So we walk in and shit. I got my hat on and whatever, and Slime's like, "Yo, my mother's coming, right? And I want you to tell her that I owe you some money, and that I owe you money for the drugs, and I gotta give you the money. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, you're gonna do something to me." And I'm like, "Yo, what the fuck are you talking about, man? Like, what? I'm not saying that to your motherfucking mother." He's like, "Man, you gotta do this. She coming in the building right now. She coming." And I look and I see her come through the door. I said, "No, this nigga can't be serious." I pull my hat down, start walking fast towards the escalator and shit, right? And she comes up behind me and doesn't say shit. She walks past security, right? Past whatever authorities that might have been there, like teachers, whatever, walks up to me, a kid, and follows me on the escalator and says, so he gave me like 200 something dollars. He tells me that the money that she was giving me was money that his father had given her for him, but she wouldn't give it to him. So this was his way of tricking her into making her give him the money. So we get in there, she walking behind me, she comes to the escalator, and she pulls the money out, give me the bread, and says, "This is for Stanley. Don't give him any more drugs to sell, and he can't do this with you anymore, blah, blah, blah." And I'm just sitting there, I got my hat pulled way down on my head, and I wanted to look at her. I'm not even letting her see my face, and I'm like, okay, all right. And she give me the bread, then she turns around and leaves, don't say shit to nobody. don't say like this little fucking kid is in there extorting my kid and got me selling drugs or nothing. So I
Yeah.
turn around, I give Slime the money. I'm like, I'm giving him the money, like, man, take that shit, man. I don't want nothing to do with that. And he starts laughing and shit. I said, well, you are a real slime bag. No, you real slime. He go, I like that. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you for the compliment.
yeah, yeah. Call me that. Call me that. And that's how he became slime. Like we were some wild little motherfuckers, bro. We were some wild little stupid ass fucking kids, bro. Like for real, for real. When we used to be in that shooting gallery in 15th Street, and we had all these different type of people who had all these different type of backgrounds. Remember Gary? He was a Marine.
Yeah.
Uh, Gary would shoot dope and then act like somebody who's on cocaine or maybe even angel dust.
Yeah.
Gary would shoot dope in the middle of winter. This nigga would take off all his clothes and be standing there in his fucking underwear and socks, standing on the motherfucking couch, sweating like a motherfucker, you know, rubbing his fucking face up and down, talking mad wild, raspy ass voice because the dope got his throat all dried up. Then we had Treetop. Treetop was about, I mean, we was kids, but Treetop had to be like 6'5", right? Red hair, big red bushy mustache and shit. This nigga Treetop bought a bag of dope, popped it, shot it, and he's got the needle in his scrotum, right?
No, no, no. So he gets the dope, and so he hadn't popped yet, and so he's like talking to me like mad nonchalant, like, oh, so like, did you go to the park this week? Like, I don't even remember what we were talking about, but like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, did you see the Yankees last night? And da da da. And while he's doing this, he's like undoing his belt, and he's talking to me as if like he's not getting undressed. You know what I mean? Like as if like you know what I mean? Like, oh, by the way, I'm gonna take off my pants right now. You know what I mean? Like he's just talking to me like, oh, like the most benign shit. Like, oh, so did you see they came out with a new flavor of Reese's Pieces? Like I don't even know what the fuck. It was just like the most like the most non conversation. And meanwhile he takes off his pants, he puts them on the thing, and then he takes out and then he takes down his underwear right in front of me, and it's only me and him in there, and then he shoots up like he puts his fucking foot up on the table and shoots up in his nuts, and I'm like, what? Like I'm in like ill surroundings and shit, but I'm like still a kid. And and then he like does that, and he just kind of like goes like this, and then he fucking puts it up. He's like with his hand. He goes, "You want to hit this?" And I was like, "The fucking shit you just took out of your nuts." No, I'm good.
Yeah, first of all, I don't shoot fucking dope, man.
You know,
I'm a little kid, okay? Second of all, that was just in your nuts. So, yeah, no, I don't think I want none of that.
which is
Now, there was another shit. Hmm?
which is how I started basing too, because all those people were like mad grizzly and shit. Like that dude that was the electrician. I remember the first time that
Oh,
I was like,
you talking about, what's called Lurch?
yeah, the dude that would like hook up the electric
Yep.
and shit. So like he
Mm-hmm.
goes to me like he's like, oh hey, this is so and so, and then like he puts out his hand to shake my hand, and I touch his hand, and it was like I remember the fucking sensation. It was like as if his hand was made of bronze, like like just metal, but then like there was like a 6 inch like thing of cotton wrapped around it. You know what I mean? So it was like soft until it was like super hard, and it just like creeped me the fuck out. And I was like, that was the last person that I touched there ever.
So he, he had, he was, so for y'all to understand what he's describing, he had been a dope fiend all my life, like probably before I was even born. I know him all my life, right? His family and my family were very close. Um, and he had what we call mitts from shooting dope.
Yeah,
So his hands were all puffed up and shit from, from shooting. And it's like, it's full of liquid, full of like liquid.
liquid.
But yeah, the hands are like full of liquid. But then when you squeezed it, then there's a point once you squeeze it, it's like squishy, and then all of a sudden it's like calcified or something in there. Fucking
Yeah.
gross. Like I I came into contact with obviously a lot more because the people in my house who had it going on. But at the same time, I would shoot uh people in there. You know what I mean? Like I would shoot it like places they couldn't reach. They wanted the neck or behind the leg or behind the knee or something like that.
Ugh.
Because these are hardcore dope fiends. These are people who did not have a lot of veins.
No,
They didn't have a lot
trust me,
of
I
veins.
know.
You know what I
I
mean?
saw.
So you mentioned and somebody asked me something. Somebody asked me something. They said and this meant they read the book. This Jai says, oh, shout out to JD for sure. He said, so crazy to hear the New York City 1980s, say love this. He's from, LES, um,
I'm in there.
South, in Southside Jamaica, Queens. Yeah, Trev's in LES right now. I remember the Harlem stories. That's what's up, bro. I appreciate that. So this Jai asked, to explain, this is a direct quote from Raised by Wolves right here. Can you expound on having to be able to run hot and run cold and but be genuine in both? So in my book, I wrote um, a gangster must be capable of um, dark and light, uh, be able to run hot and cold and be genuine in both. So like you know, you have to be able to be like a genuinely good person, like when you're able to be good and people are allowing you to be uh, decent and so forth. But when it's called for, you have to be able to um, basically suspend your humanity and be as ruthless and as cold and callous as as need be, so that people understand that there is a dangerous and dark side to you. But you know, you can't be one way or the other all the time. It's impossible. Being too nice all the time or being too decent all the time will just make you a victim, a target. But being, aggressive or violent all the fucking time will just make people fearful of you and want to see, you undone some kind of way, locked up or hurt
Yeah,
or
well,
killed or
because
something
also
like
you got customers. You have to. I mean, they're
that.
your
Exactly.
clients and shit.
Exactly. And these are the people that you have to be able to switch from one to the other with. This is who you have to deal with. I think a lot of guys, I mean, I don't know what the street drug scene is like now. I have no idea what that's like now. But I get the impression from the things that I do come into contact with, mostly through the social media shit. I get the impression that a lot of what they deal with is with other guys who are also out there. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of mm, interaction, like the culture of being in the street now doesn't seem to have a whole lot to do with managing your clientele, dealing with your clientele and so forth, but the people who bring you the money. It's all about the conflict or competition that you have with other people who are where you are attempting to do what you're doing, you know? And that's where the whole preoccupation with, I got ops because I'm doing something so significant or so important or so substantial that, there are people who just, want to see me undone because I'm important. I got ops. And if you don't have ops, then you ain't nobody. It's like real ego bullshit, real ego dumb shit, back during this time, it was really about having customer skills. You know what I mean? Having the skills to manage some difficult fucking people who had some serious fucking problems, man. Like, drug addicts, especially back then, drug addicts were some slick motherfuckers. They were very unethical. And they weren't, and they weren't fucking dumb.
Unethical.
You dig? Like they were not fucking dumb.
I'm the
Yeah, taking the
gentleman's
needle,
dope
yeah,
fiend.
right. Taking the needle out your dick and offering it to a kid. That you ain't never seen a stick a needle in his goddamn arm or even sniff them goddamn dope. But it's like in this day, it seems as though it's not about the hustle at all or hustle culture at all. It's all about, self-aggrandizement, trying to make yourself seem like something more substantial or significant than you fucking are. And it's like,
So
that's the goal.
then how do they get money though?
They
Like
don't.
they
They
don't
don't.
they
They
don't,
don't.
They
right?
don't.
So
They
they're
don't. They don't.
not, so they're
Money.
selling drugs to say they're selling
They're
drugs. They're
selling
not
drugs
getting
to
money.
say they're selling drugs, bro.
Aesthetic, and girls like them more when they sell drugs.
Yeah. Because
Even if they don't make money.
it's funny that you said that you don't know the streets because like okay, so I mean this is a while back. This is like maybe 10 years ago, but Lindsay Lohan I guess had got picked up buying crack in the street like a couple blocks from me, right?
Hmm.
And they were like, and I was like, that is a setup. You know what I mean? Because like with a gun to my head, I couldn't find crack in the street. You know what I mean? Like how, you know what I mean? Like when we were kids, it was like every corner and sometimes in the middle.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But then now it's like if you said like, dude, I'll give you $1 million, you get me a bottle like first of all, I don't even know if they got them in bottles anymore. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I could not find, you know what I mean? Like on the street, like I'd have to ask somebody to introduce me to somebody like this. I don't. How do you get drugs these days?
Yeah, I don't see. I don't know how motherfuckers is getting. What's it on those Chef 911? JoJo Naki 3866 not in service. Blue Frost Prime. I am LS. What's going on, LS? What's happening with your name? Been a minute.
How do you
JD
feel
Shaw,
about people?
Hustle Man 101. You don't see the people? Kirby Kayla,
Now it's
Jay's Way
That
711.
nigga said bottles.
oh they don't got
I remember them
bottle.
crack
yo,
vials. Them
yo.
shits used to be everywhere.
Oh, we gotta break out someday. The polo.
Max, keep quiet. Yeah, no doubt. I wanna. First, you mentioned the basing thing.
Oh, so
Talk
I'll tell you that.
about how you got
I'll tell you that because what was T's wife's name? Uh,
um
she was like the fucking
Sandra.
sentinel, bro. She used to sit at that desk and just watch the spot from across the street, and she just would just she sat at her desk like basing, like as if it's like like as if it's her
Sandra.
job, like huh,
I think it was Sandra.
Sandra?
Something like that. Something like that. Something like Sandra. Something to that effect. Yeah, I think it was Sandra or Cynthia. Something like
Yeah,
that.
something like that.
Look at it.
And so I remember like she would just sit at the desk watching the spot, just like basing like fucking noon to night, like 24 hours a day, like as if the world's gonna stop turning if she's not smoking, like
Right.
and and I remember we used to trade like so, you would be in the spot for a little while and then I would be running
Hmm.
and then vice versa, right? And
Hmm.
then when I would be up in the apartment with her,
Yeah, for
she
real.
would, I would smoke with her,
I had no
and
fucking
so
idea of this, by the way, y'all. I had no idea.
and so uh, and I just remember because like all the people that we were serving were like grisly ass fucking monsters and shit, with like pus coming out their fucking eyeballs, and it was scary. You know what I mean?
Hardcore things.
Like not even funny, like scary. And I remember one day just sitting there. It was like like noon. It was like noon on a Sunday. We're fucking smoking, and I said like in the most innocent way too. I was like, hey, can I ask you something? I was like, so from smoking this, like, do you get like big ass craters in your arms like these other people? Like, do you get like stuff like that? And she's like, oh no. I was like, oh okay, so we doing this. like, I was like, okay, so I'm not gonna get like fucking big ass lumps on my face, like you know what I mean? Like I'm not like I'm not gonna
Yeah.
get like fucking like shit oozing out my ears and shit. Okay, cool. I'm down with this. We could.
My shit ain't gonna puff up like a motherfucker. So the when he when he first when he first told me about this was years later when he told me about this, right? And he said that she told me, she's like, you want to try it? And he tried it, and he said, oh those dope heads don't know what the fuck is up. This is it. This is the holy grail right here. I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? I had no fucking idea, man. I had
Bec-
no idea, man.
because we
So
had not seen a crackhead yet. There was not the
no,
cautionary
but yes,
tale of the
there
crackhead.
was no such thing as a crackhead
There was no
at this point. There was no
thing
such
as
thing
a
as a
crackhead.
crackhead. The word crack hadn't been introduced yet.
So I didn't have the cautionary example.
Right, exactly. Exactly. It was just, getting high. You know what I mean? So one day we were in there with the dude Danny and his wife. Danny was the one I used to trade coke for weed. He used to have the tie stick. They were from California, and his wife had brain cancer, and so they would come there, get high. That was like her medication for her brain cancer. So they'd buy some dope, they'd buy some coke, whatever, or I'd trade them some coke for some weed, and they would sit there. So I'm sitting there behind the desk, and you know, they got a bill out, and they passing the bill around, right? So they had just bought a bag of dope for me, and they got coke. So I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, this bill come around, this is coke.
Oh.
So I take a look at it. I don't like. I know what I'm looking at because like cocaine, we have fish scale, so it's like the scales of a fish. It's shiny, shimmery, not powdery looking like dope when it's cut. We had scrambled dope, what they call mixed job, right? Quinine bonita. So we
Abita? What'd you put?
bonita, quinine and
Oh,
bonita, quinine and bonita. So when they passed me the bill, I glanced at it, but I just take it for granted they wouldn't pass me a bill with nothing but coke in it. So I grabbed the bill, take 2 hits, and as I'm passing it, I look at it again. I'm not getting the drop and the medicine in the back of my throat, so I'm like, this ain't. What the fuck is it? I said, is this the coke I just sold you? And she was a real idiot. She said, oh no, that's dope. But I was like, bitch, what the fuck is wrong with you? I don't sniff no goddamn dope. I'm a little kid. I'm the little kid that just
I'm
sold
a
you the
little
dope.
kid. I'm a little kid. Give me PCP.
I'm a little kid. Why you? I don't smoke no fucking. I don't sniff no goddamn heroin. What the fuck is wrong with you? And now I'm sitting there, and I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen. Right? All I know is I grew up in a house full of dope fiends, so I'm waiting to start feeling like I need to nod and go to sleep, whatever. But that was the high for me was basically anxiety or anxiousness or paranoia. That was the high for me.
Yeah.
With that. And that was my only incident with fucking around with with some fucking dope. I took them that one on one. But situations like that, in many instances, turned a lot of people out. A lot of
Yeah.
people ended up like say they had an experience like mine, and it was like, oh, I had all this tragedy in my mind about what it would be, and it wasn't that. So, fuck it, I don't mind fucking around from time to time, whatever. You know what I mean? And a lot of people, that's how a lot of people who call themselves selling drugs ended up being on fucking drugs. Like especially during this time. During this time, a lot of the major guys, like the guy who was above us, the guy who was in the apartment above us, in this entirely abandoned building. I want y'all to think back to any picture you've ever seen of New York in the late 70s and early 80s, early mid 80s. These ransacked shells of structures, 5 stories high, 6 stories high, that were completely fucking abandoned. No windows, no window frames, no nothing. This is what we're in. But we're in an apartment with heat, light, gas with a stove.
What are you talking about? Heat? No. We
They
had
had
a
heat. Well,
heater.
we had the heater. That's right, we did. We had the
Heater
heater and
because
we had
that
the
was because that was
we
the
had the
illest
heater
shit.
and the stove. We had the heater and the stove. That's right.
Because that was the illest shit about that place is
But we had
that
electricity.
all
We had
winter, because it
electricity.
used to be cold in New York, so all winter there was like a fucking 6-inch thing of ice on the landing of the floor, and then like yo, it was so crazy. Like the stairs that went up, it had like the icicles, like almost like a waterfall that gets iced over and shit like that. So like to walk, and I actually was thinking about this one time. Is like I remember one time like generally it was abandoned, but then like I don't, some family lived in the apartment across on
On
the
the stove.
same floor. What happened?
No, I was just calling somebody out. Yep, go ahead.
Oh. I remember that there was a family that I guess for a while like lived in the apartment across from us. You remember that? Because generally we were the only
I
people
do.
there.
I do remember that. I totally forgot about that family, bro. I
Yeah,
totally did forgot about this. And they were a regular family of people. They were just people without home. They weren't on
yeah.
drugs or nothing.
And so the thing is, I remember one day that we were coming in and out or whatever, and their door was open, and this kid was like doing his homework in a fucking down in a winter jacket, like in front of the stove, like
Yep.
some real like end of the world shit, and I just always remember I was like, damn, like in the midst of all this, this kid is trying to like fucking learn his ABCs and shit, like it's like like those yin and yang type experiences or
Yeah,
whatever.
it was really crazy. Dude that was upstairs, wait a minute, hold on. My man Ed said something about this must have been before the infidel thing. All right, so the way that Coke was cut back then was with lactose, uh, which was known as a baby laxative, which is why when people sniffed cocaine back then, a lot of times they would fart all the time because it had baby laxative in it. So it's a mild laxative. It didn't make them go to the bathroom unless you sniff a whole lot of it, or unless you were like, sniffing some shit that was mostly cut. That's for the comment that Ed just made. Um, but Big Nose Poppy said something too. Hold on a second. Um, he's old school. Oh yeah, bottles. There was something that Big Nose Poppy said. I I
How
can't
many
find
people
it. But
are in this thing?
I mean, they alternate in and out. They alternate in and out. I think right at this moment, it's 7 people on here. But a lot after it's posted, then then a bunch of people watch it and watch it and watch it.
I was
So,
with I was at a comedy show last night, and the nigga was like, "Yo, I'll be watching y'all lives." I didn't know who the hell the nigga was. He knew who
oh,
he
that's
was.
dope.
Man, it was
That's
real
dope.
random. I was like, "That's
That's
dope."
dope. So Trev, so the name of our live. I don't know if I mentioned it to you the other day, but the name of our live is We Pop and Son. So it's like
I'm
double
Pop,
entendre. We
and
Pop
he's
and
Son.
Son. You know what I
It's
mean?
word
This nigga,
play. I
this
heard about.
motherfucker,
I
this
heard. I
motherfucker.
heard about word
You
play.
heard
He's
about that?
yeah, you heard of it. You're familiar with it.
I'm
You're familiar
familiar
with
with
it.
word play.
Um, so yeah, that's what We Pop and Son. So the there was
And
something
this stays up afterwards. This
yes.
people watch this later.
hmm hmm
You can tell I'm real
Um, and
experienced with
it's
it.
usually I usually do it for like an hour. I might go maybe 10, 15 minutes. You know what I mean? But I usually do it for like an hour. And so what ends up
You
happening
know them
is
crazy crap? You know
What,
them people?
what
You
happened?
know any of them
oh,
people that
the camera
he
by mistake.
passed?
What it? You're
I said,
talking over.
do
What?
you know any of them people that just walk past them? They look like they might be related to you and shit.
I didn't. I wasn't even watching.
Okay.
Who are they?
It's stupid. Go
Is
ahead,
this
Jazz.
facial humor? This is what he's trying to do.
Let me tell you something. Ain't nobody up here. These people is Armenian. Everybody here is Armenian in Glendale, but everybody, 80% Armenian here, bro. Glendale, just Armenian. That's it. I haven't really seen any white people here. Real for real. I haven't seen really any black people here. Just Armenian. You should see some of the looks I get. The looks be like,
Why? What's
it's,
the
it's
problem?
like alien. Like what are you doing here? The whole time I've been standing here at this entrance. People been coming and going.
I
I haven't seen one black person.
I see them looking in the camera from behind you, like
You see
that
me?
white guy
You see him?
behind you. Yeah,
Yeah, this guy right here.
yeah.
Yep, 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 yep. What they don't know is I still smack people off their fucking feet. That's what they don't know. But I mean, they cool. I mean, people don't really fuck
But
around too
who's
heavily.
fucking with you? I
Just,
don't see anybody giving you
no,
any
no, no.
problems
I'm just talking
whatsoever.
about.
You're
No,
like
I'm just talking
threatening
about
the
the
most
looks.
like
No,
innocent
no, I'm talking about the
bystanders. Like
looks. I'm talking about the looks. I'm talking about the looks. The disdainful looks. It's like, mind yourself. Mind yourself. Be conscious of what you're doing. Be conscious of what you're giving because it'll determine what you get. Be mindful of what you're doing. Be mindful of yourself. You dig? Gotta be mindful of yourself. That's how people get fucked up and don't know why they got fucked up in real life. That's just what it is. You know what I mean? But I ain't never gave a fuck. And I still don't give a fuck.
I'm
I've
familiar.
always been like, I'm gonna go where I wanna go and be me wherever I am.
That's true.
he said,
I'm
he said, I'm familiar.
Yeah, yeah,
familiar with your
yeah,
work.
yeah, yeah. Fuck out of here. You know what I mean? But it's crazy. It's really crazy. It's really crazy. It's really. Oh, there goes two. There goes
Huh?
two right there. Hold on. Let me get this real quick.
To what? Black people? Oh
Yeah.
Black
shit.
people.
Oh
Are they
shit.